All right. Well, Stroman could be moved soon. Paul Goldschmidt might be a Yankee. Bellinger has his little introductory with the Yankees. All that and more here in episode 764 of the podcast. Welcome to BD4. Let's talk.
Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Welcome to the show, episode 764 of the podcast. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. And the Yankees, this was coming sooner rather than later, reportedly looking to offload Stroman's contract. So we're going to talk about that in this episode. Cody Bellinger held his first Yankees press conference today. We're going to play a couple clips in literally 2 seconds. He held it in the most Cody Bellinger way. I think that's the way I could put it. It's the best way I could put it. Hat on backwards, Zoom call, looked high as shit. The most Cody Bellinger interview you could have to introduce himself to the Yankees. So I'm sure George Steinbrenner is loving that from his grave. I thought it was cool though. It's nice to have a guy who wants to be a Yankee. And the legacy's there, right? His father played, I think from 98 to 01 for the Yankees. He had a cup of coffee with them. So let's get into a couple of these clips. I want to play some of these clips, and I like what he had to say. He talks about his father's legacy, and he talks about how excited he is to be a Yankee in these clips here. So let's play them.
Everything about it excites me. The organization, the fans, the stadium, the atmosphere. And I actually have only played there once, and that was in 2023. And was a really cool moment. And, I've heard nothing but amazing things about everything, organization and in the clubhouse. And, I'm just excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to get to work. And, I'm excited to, play baseball and play how I want to play. That's the goal. It is truly wild. When I got the news, I called him and he was very excited. He plays it all cool, but I know deep down he's really excited. And we lived out in upstate growing up, and I grew up with the Pettits. Growing up in that kid's room, and I have some very solid memories of it. My parents did a good job of bringing the camcorder around, and back when I was younger, in high school or even before that, we would watch home videos, and we got so that's how I remember it, a lot through the camcorder. But I still have some very solid memories of it.
Awesome to see. So I'm excited for the kid. I know most Yankees fans are. There are some concerns. Some that I think are a little too pessimistic. You know, it's valid to have some concerns about this kid, but like at the same time, some of the stuff I'm seeing, like some people are just completely ignoring the possibility of a productive major league season from him. And I think that's insane to do for anybody, really, except for DJ LeMahieu at this point. But like some people are just completely throwing out the idea that he can be, above average. So the concerns come from the lack of pop, right? His lack of power. It's mostly in relative to his MVP season. But the last couple of seasons, Cody Bellinger made a change in his swing. He shook up his swing and he changed his batting stance a little bit. And it's become more of a contact-driven approach, right? We talked last episode, or a couple episodes ago maybe, how he cut down his K rate with Chicago the last 2 seasons to just 16%. I think Major League average is around 23. He wants to be able to make more contact. He wants to be able to get to the fastball away and hit the ball where it's pitched, right? And not be a liability when he's behind in the count. So he sacrificed a little bit of his bat speed for bat control, for more contact and getting more base hits. That's why, I think that's part of the reason why when you go to his baseball savant and you look at the charts, right? And the exit velos and the hard hit percentages and the barrel percentage numbers and his bat speed, etc., like all those types of numbers, that's why they're all blue, middle of the pack and down. It's because he changed his swing to make it more contact oriented. It's because he's not always getting his A+ swing off. And that's intentional. Now part of me does wish he kind of kept that same swing. I want that pop for Yankee Stadium. I think the Yankees are going to need that power. But at the same time, he's going from Wrigley Field where the wind blows in. And he's going into Yankee Stadium where the wind doesn't blow in there and you got the short porch. And he's a left-handed hitter. And like former Yankee lefties in the past, when he pulls the ball for a home run, or when he hits home runs, it's usually a pull. Let me rephrase that. When he hits a home run, it's usually pulled. So I like that. I think he'll be fine with power. I'm not saying that Yankees fans think some of these fans think he's going to hit 35. I'm not saying that. I think he can hit some home runs there. I'm curious though, for sure, to see what his approach is like. This new approach that he's got, is it count based? 0-2, 3-2, even count? What's it like? Is it based on the game situation? Runner on third, 2 outs. Second and third, less than 2 outs. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Is it matchup based? Right, a certain type of pitcher, a sinker baller, lefty-lefty matchup, a guy with the slider who goes to your back foot. Like, when does he get the A swings off? But all in all, I'm not too worried. I think some people act like he's 40 years old. I posted one of my little promo clips of this podcast on my Instagram page the other day. And, I get a comment saying, like, he's washed up. He's past his prime. I'm like, first of all, no. Okay. Some people act like this kid is 40 years old. They act like he's 40 years old. He's 29 years old, guys. He doesn't turn 30 until mid-July. So he's literally in the athletic peak of his career right now. He could very well explode next year for all we know. I don't think that's going to happen, but to act like, once again, to act like 780 OPS, 25 home run power is impossible, I think that's out of this world bizarre. In fact, in 8 seasons of Cody Bellinger's career, he's posted a 780 OPS or better 5 times. In the 2 times where he didn't, he struggled with the shoulder injury in 2021 where he played only 95 games. And then it was in 2022. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. And for those concerned about the bat, don't ignore his strong suits. He's a good contact bat. He's a good runner. He's a good glove. First base, center field, corner outfield. So that's a good move. Wish the Yankees were able to get the Cubs to eat a little more of that money, but it's a good move baseball-wise. I just need the Yankees to keep doing more. That's where I get concerned. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit when we return from break here on this episode of BD4. Stay with us here. Episode 764. Be right back. BD4 is available on social media for those who want to follow. You can find BD4 on Instagram at BD4Pod. You can find us on X at BD4Pod. And you can find us on Facebook by simply searching BD4. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, this podcast is also available in video format on YouTube. So be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, BD4, subscribe, like the videos, comment, and tell me how much I suck or maybe how much you like the video. We'd very much appreciate it. Don't have time to sit down and watch a video? You can listen to BD4 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And you can also watch the video format on Spotify too. All right. Welcome back to the show, episode 764 of the podcast. The Yanks look to offload Stroman's money. Currently, this Yankees team has, I'm seeing a range here. You know, some places I read, they say as much as 12 million left. Some places I read say as little as 6 million left. I think the 6 million is probably most accurate because I think Jesus. Let's try that one more time. I think the $6 million left to spend before the Cohen tax is most likely the accurate one because it accounts for arbitration money. So let's just play that game. Let's say the Yankees have $6 million left before they exceed the final CBT, right? That $300 million number. And I think at this point, like I was doing some of the math, they're going to have to go over. I think the question just becomes by how much. You know, they're going to have to go over if they want to add just one decent bat, really. Right? And you can make a good case the Yankees need 2 impact bats. Let's say for not being spoiled and to be more realistic, they need 1.5 bats, right? I would settle for one more guy who can give you close to an 800 OPS. And then I take the next guy you get being just average or a little below average at the plate. That would be a good offseason for me if those were your final or next 2 moves. Sorry, I thought my computer was about to shut down there. So I think that just the question is how much over do they go? right? Does Hal exceed it by 15 million? Does he exceed it by 20 million? Does he exceed it by 30 million? I don't think he's going to go that far over. But it's been reported that the Yankees are targeting first base next. So, I kind of dread saying some of these names, but the 4 names that keep popping up: Walker, Alonso, Santana, and Goldschmidt. I think they're going to have to move Stroman at the very least, which, again, they said this today. They're planning on moving Stroman. And maybe you tie Grisham to him, right? Because that's $5 million right there. I think Stroman and Grisham should be next to go. Sorry, now I just got interrupted. I had to pause the recording. I'm back. Obviously, that didn't make a difference here if you're listening or watching, but all right, catch my breath. Had to step out for about 5 seconds there. So, yeah, I think Stroman's next to go, and it'd be nice for the Yankees to tie Grisham in there, because that would mean if you can get... Let's play a game. All right, we like diving into the details here. Let's say you can move both Stroh and Grish. That's $23.5 million together off the books. Whoa. That's $23 million off the books if all of that money's moved, right? If you get somebody or a couple teams to eat all of that contract, those 2 contracts, then that's 23.5 off the books. So, if you get somebody to eat all of it, it's probably going to be with a pot sweetener or 2. Probably going to add in a top prospect. But you do something like that, and that would all of a sudden jump the Yankees from having $6 million left to spend before the tax to just shy of $30 million left to spend before the tax. So you can use, all of that remaining money on Walker and Alonso, one of Walker or Alonso, to play first base for you. And then you go over the tax a little bit with your next move, right? Whether that's making a trade for a Brandon Lau who makes $4 million next year, right? So you're barely going over. Or you're signing someone like Jorge Polanco, who's hitting the pass, and you maybe slide him to second base. He's probably going to make less than $10 million. That all puts the Yankees over, but it again, not by much, if you can get Stroman and Grisham off the books. Right? Not by much. Even if a team doesn't want to eat all of Stroman, or even if you can't move Grisham, it still doesn't put you over by a lot. And then there's another alternative here. You can use some of what's left after moving Stroman or Grisham on the 2 less attractive options in a Goldschmidt or a Santana, because they're a lot cheaper, right? And Jack Curry just a couple hours ago tonight, and tonight as I'm recording, it's December 19th, Curry says that Goldschmidt's probably the most likely on that first base list because the Yankees don't want to lose any bonus pool money and they don't want to lose any draft picks, which they will if they sign Walker or Alonso. I'm assuming that means they don't want to lose any of that because that would mean they go over the tax a certain amount. But like I would use, I wouldn't mind a Goldschmidt. I really wouldn't, if he wasn't like the impact bat that you add. If you're moving Stroman and Grisham and you're using some of that money to get Goldschmidt, I would still think you need to add a big bat like a Bregman, right? Who would be more costly. Again, that does put the Yankees over, but if you did something like that, it wouldn't put you over by much. Of the $29.5 million you'd have left from the Stroman Grisham trade, Goldie would cost, what, 10 to 15 million tops AAV? And then Bregman would cost somewhere around 30 million, give or take, next year. So it wouldn't put you over by a lot. But I don't see the Yankees signing Alex Bregman. You know, and Goldie, again, Goldschmidt cannot be the major addition if he's the plan for first base. That cannot be the next impact bat you go after alongside Belli. I'm sorry. And that's where I start to get concerned, because I start hearing the Yankees talk about, you know, draft picks and international pool money. Then I'm like, shit, are we actually going to like play Moneyball? Like there are definitely avenues here to add to this team and not have to splurge on this mega payroll. They're just really creative ones. That's you have to get very creative. And you know, maybe you never know. You know, maybe Hal's pissed off. You know, after losing the World Series like he did. Maybe after the comments from Dodgers players on, you know, the Yankees are going to play Yankee baseball, so we know what we were doing. And, you know, maybe losing Soto to someone like Cohen pisses him off. So maybe he splurges. And next year he works on staying under the tax and avoiding major penalties like losing picks and pool money. But I just don't see it. After seeing what Curry said, like I am very concerned here. I don't see Hal splurging too much because of, you know, one of the reasons he didn't retain Soto was because he knew that if he did, he wasn't going to add much, if at all, after that. And apparently now he cares about saving these picks and this pool money if he blows past the tax. So I just think that ignoring offensive production and doubling down on pitching, like it's nice to have great pitching, but I don't think that's how it works. Just ignoring the lineup. Like, you need offense. This isn't an offense. I thought the big time goal here was to replace Juan Soto with these three quality bats. Bellinger, Goldschmidt, and enter some garbage name here, if at all, is significantly worse than what the Yankees had last year. Significantly worse. Bellinger's costing $27. Leaves you with $6 million to spend. Goldschmidt will cost about $12 million, let's say. You're going to trade Stroman, so you still haven't hit the tax. They're going to try to get two more guys or something that just so you can stay under this tax and not have to lose picks. I don't understand it. I don't know, man. Are you really trying to win a World Series? How many big bats are left on the free agent market? Walker, Alonso, Bregman, Santander? Right? Bats that came off a solid or better season last year. But again, Walker, the Yankees are afraid to lose picks. They're afraid to lose pool money if they use him. If they sign him. Same thing with Pete Alonso. Bregman, same thing. They're going to be over. They're not going after him. Santander, I don't think they're eyeing him. And if they do, then that's just a defensive mess. You know, you got to move Bellinger to first. Now your outfield defense is chaos again because Santander and Dominguez are playing together. One's a poor outfielder. The other is a question mark. You know, Santander going to play the biggest left field in baseball? Or one of? He's not going to play center field. You're going to move him to right field to hide him? Well, now Judge has to slide back over to center. So I'm nervous that the Yankees are going to add some garbage, washed-up senior citizen, like a Goldschmidt or a Santana even, off the cheap. And that's just going to continue to leave them with way too many question marks to survive. Look how many question marks they've got in this lineup already. Stanton, you don't know with the age and his health and his inconsistencies as it is. Volpe, Dominguez, and Wells, 3 young and unpredictable players. They're unproven. And then you're adding a Goldschmidt or a Santana. They're both old and declining. Goldschmidt's 37, Santana's 38. Both of them came off very mediocre seasons last year at the plate. Your only sure things in your lineup right now are Judge and Jazz. And I guess Belli, but he's not even a short thing. Like, it's a huge drop-off after Judge is what I'm saying. Like, there's not much quality bats, which was supposed to be this plan after Soto if you're going after Goldschmidt. So, unless they sign one of the few good bats left or unless they make a trade for a good bat, I have not much faith in this lineup improving from what it is now, Mediocreville, to becoming this top 10 offense, which is where you need to be to survive in today's game. I think the only way to do this is to move Stroman and Grisham, sign a Christian Walker, and then fuck it, you have to go over a little bit and sign a lighter bat just for a little more depth, then do it. But I don't think getting Goldschmidt and someone equally or even less productive as him is the way to go, just because you want to save on some picks. So that's what I'm a little bit concerned about. Just wanted to come on here and rant about it a little bit tonight. But that's all I got for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode 764 of the podcast. We've been covering a lot of Yankees lately. Ever since the Soto move. We've been on this. So we'll try to get to it as much as we can. Hopefully we have some more stuff to talk about. But that's all I got for tonight. The Yanks look to offload Stroman, so maybe that's next. Maybe that's more towards 2025. We'll see. Appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode. Later. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.